Good evening. It's ours until at least 2029 with a new deal inked today for a 3-year extension of Gather Round.
And not only is the Festival of Footy staying in SA, it'll feature a host of new attractions.
The sound of footy's future echoed through Adelaide Oval as the Premier and AFL chief put pen to paper, kicking home a new Gather Round deal.
Gather Round has captured the imagination of South Australia and Australian rules footy fans all around the country.
The 3-year extension comes with a new flagship event, a free parade through the city on Friday afternoon. 10 players from each of the 18 clubs will hit the streets with coaches with a promise of free public transport.
It'll be the AFL Grand Final parade, but bigger and better with all stars there.
Saturday night will feature a marquee game at Adelaide Oval with the AFL eyeing a potential Grand Final rematch. As for other venues, the Premier's keeping his cards close on McLaren Vale getting a game.
We keep our options open for alternative venues, but make no mistake, we are going to be rather stringent as a government in our requirements about it meeting certain metrics.
The cost of the event to taxpayers still commercial in confidence.
I think it's reasonable that South Australians at least have a ballpark understanding about how much of their money is going towards this event.
How Gather Round adapts to Tasmania's entry into the competition in 2028 is still to be worked through, but the AFL says all 19 clubs will be involved in the footy festival.
We're looking at how the competition evolves into that time.
Given its success, is the weekend worthy of a public holiday?
I have thought about it, but that's not in our planning.
Michaela Kamarek, 7 News.
Well, today's announcement has left footy fans with as many questions as answers. Let's go live to Josh Money at Adelaide Oval. And Josh, South Australia's return to State of Origin is still to be confirmed.
Yeah, Rosanna, and that's despite the state government really pushing for it to be a key feature of this 3-year extension. Now, clubs are still under the impression that South Australia will play its first State of Origin game since 1999. That's expected to be against WA in Perth before the start of next season. It's then hoped we'll see a return of the famous rivalry between the Crow Eaters and Victoria right here at Adelaide Oval in 2028. But as for now, it's all still up in the air.
South Australia are a really proud football state and they will be involved in Origin going forward. How it plays out, I think we just watch this space.
I've made no secret of the fact that State of Origin footy, in my view, can't happen without South Australia. And if South Australia is playing, I want to see it here at Adelaide Oval.
Now, Tasmania's inclusion from 2028 is set to cause a huge logistical headache. Neither of our local clubs are in love with the idea of playing 2 games in 5 days. And with the league and government today both insisting all 19 clubs will be involved, that rules out the possibility of a bye. And so just how the Festival of Footy looks beyond next year remains a mystery for now, Will.
All right, thank you, Josh. A dangerous Northern Suburbs foster carer has finally been jailed after relentlessly abusing young girls over many years. One victim, who first raised the alarm in 2013, says if authorities had believed her, many other children would have been spared.
United in surviving the grips of a serial evil predator. Ricky Bennett, a foster carer employed to keep vulnerable children safe, now jailed.
He deserves to rot in there.
It was back in 2013 that the alarm was first raised. That victim today telling 7 News she thought reporting him to the authorities was the right thing to do.
So I did, and from there I was failed by the very institution put in place to protect me and help me.
But instead she felt like she wasn't heard and eventually dropped the charges. He went on to offend for another 7 years.
He worked at my school and everyone thought he was just amazing, but he's not.
Another victim, who was only very young at the time, wishes she was removed from his care and saved from years of abuse, even sleeping on the roof of the home to escape him.
All of this could have been stopped because one girl spoke up and nobody believed her.
I'm devastated by it because if the police and not only that DCB did the right thing back then, these girls would have a better life and wouldn't have been failed the same way that I was.
The judge today locked Bennett up for at least 19 years, describing him as a skillful, dangerous and determined sexual predator. It is an understatement to say that your offending was serious. It was persistent and repugnant. It was relentless. You took advantage of your power imbalance in relation to the children. Bennett had his head hung during most of today's hearing, but during the trial, he often appeared smug, smirking and staring at the girls as they told the court how he destroyed their lives. Today, several of his many victims said while he was the abuser, the system could have done better to protect them.
Yeah, it's a whole system that needs to stop failing the kids.
The Department of Child Protection says it's supporting the victims. Hannah Ford, 7 News.
Tributes are flowing for a young woman who was killed when she was hit by a garbage truck just metres from her Modbury Heights home.
She lived with her grandparents and brother, who are devastated by the tragic death.
A young life lost in a horrific crash.
We don't know why. It's just sudden.
Yeah, a real tragedy.
23-year-old Mel Whiteford Hall was on her way to work at a city burger bar when she was struck by a garbage truck. Her two grandparents, who lived just metres away, had offered to drive her.
She just said the buses are all not running properly, and she was a bit worried, and I said, I'll run her down. And she said, no, I'll be right. She said, I'll find a bus.
Neighbours ran to help when Mel was struck, but her injuries were so severe there was nothing they could do.
That's exactly where I go to when I catch the bus, the bus stop's right behind our house.
Police soon told Bev and Ron the tragic news.
Well, it's been a massive shock. Because we've had her since she was 6 years old. We've been grandparent carers for three kids, a brother and a sister as well.
Her older brother went to the crash site where flowers and candles have been laid.
He's very upset, and he has a disability and finding it hard to cope with the situation. And we have lovely memories of her as a beautiful young lady.
Major crash investigators will now try to determine why the garbage truck driver didn't see the young woman and what action he took when she was struck. The 48-year-old driver from Prospect has been reported for careless driving causing death.
From the point of view of the truck driver, I think it's going to be hard for him, particularly if he's a family man and has a young family.
Peter Caldecott, 7 News.
A former bikie boss has been deported to Adelaide after being busted in Bali. Angelo Pandelli was caught hiding in the bathroom of a private jet using a fake Brazilian passport. The plane was bound for Africa, but immigration officials stopped it from taking off. Pandelli, who was born in Whyalla, was linked to a $250 million drug plot when he left Australia in 2018. Authorities say he is not currently facing any charges here.